Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek and welcome to the IndieGeek Vlogcast, my weekly talk show where I talk about the newest news in video games this week. I have my co-host here with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, this is LadyGeek. I'm back.
Woo! All right, cool. So it looks like I got everything set up. Got my cookies clicking. Would you like an update on how many cookies I have?
Well, of course.
I have 7.18 billion cookies.
Still not to the trillions?
Nope, not quite. I did
Yeah.
just buy my third antimatter condenser, though.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, that is pretty exciting. I think it'll be a while before we're at trillions, but yeah, cookies aside, kind of a cool week of news. Again, we have a lot of little things, but as many of you will probably know already, this week from the 9th to the 12th is E3, so there will be a ton of news. In fact, we are planning, I'm not sure when these will release, but we're planning to do probably two parts to next week's vlogcast because there's going to be a ton of news from E3. One of those parts will definitely release at the normal time on Friday. The other one we're not sure yet, so we will see about that. But I think with that, we're good to just jump into the news for the week. So again, kind of like last week and the week before, there's a lot of little news going on, but that's totally cool. And I think that's what we're going to do. So, first, because we have had kind of a lot of doom and gloom on the show about Nintendo, thought we'd kick off with the good Nintendo news. So, Mario Kart 8 sold really, really well. It boosted UK Wii U hardware sales by 666%, which I love that number. I love that that's the percentage it ended up being. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like that one game has actually like really started moving Wii U's. I believe in the first 2 days, Mario Kart 8 sold like 1.2 million copies, which is pretty decent for an opening launch.
Especially considering what console it's on.
Right, right. I mean that's like a fifth ish of all the people who own a Wii U bought Mario Kart 8. Like that's pretty damn good, and
It's also really fun to play.
Mario Kart 8 is super good. It's like
And
really
it's
good.
really pretty.
Yeah, but it is now I think the seventh best-selling Wii U game after a couple of days. So
That's
I
pretty.
guess that kind of tells you how the Wii U is doing right now as far as game sales. But it is awesome to see something good come out for Nintendo. Um, and I think also my favorite thing in gaming this year came from Mario Kart 8. If you have not seen Luigi Death Stairs,
Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
you have yeah, go Google Luigi Death Stairs. This is great. So like like when you hit someone with an enemy in Mario Kart, your character normally like does this little jump, right? Or some like cheering, something like that, something happy. Well, in Mario Kart 8, when Luigi hits an enemy, he does a death stare as he passes them. It's great. He just like looks at them. He's just like and just kind of like watches as he passes is the best thing. People are like setting videos of it to ride and dirty stuff like that. It's the best thing. Of course, Nintendo is being typical Nintendo, and they're not commenting on it. They don't really seem to care, but it's pretty great if you. Yeah, I think everyone should go check that out. Oh no, my my internet's not responding. My Firefox. Firefox, no. Well, it's
Firefox
basically
is
the
very.
best thing ever. It's okay. It'll be back in a minute. Um, yeah, that's okay because I've got a bunch of news picked out already. Anyways, that are like less, maybe like big news, if that makes sense. So, we'll just start going down that list, I guess. Of course, the big release was Watch Dogs. It was the best opening week for a new IP for Ubisoft, which is really good news for them. It was also, I think, the biggest opening for a new IP in the UK ever, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, So I mean, Watch Dogs has been selling really well. People seem to like it for the most part. Yeah, I'm not sure. Here, I think I'm gonna restart my Firefox. It won't affect Cookie Clicker, luckily. But I will take care of that. We'll be back with more news from Firefox in a little bit, I guess. Um, yeah, so, excuse me. So I mean, that's good to hear. I'm not really like jumping onto the Watch Dogs bandwagon. I'm not gonna check it out most likely.
I'm still perturbed that it's been delayed so many times after how much they, you know, talked it up at E3 last year.
Yeah, that was a big hit that it was supposed to come out like November, I think, and
Yeah,
got
wasn't it supposed to be like a close to launch
I
for
think it was supposed to be a launch title and it got delayed. I mean, again, like we said last week with delays, in my opinion, I'd rather see a game get delayed and come out good, but I think in this case it kind of hurt it because the hype was like so big when it was announced. They had one of the best announcements I think ever. Like they announced and I was pretty much convinced that it was going to be really good. A lot of people were convinced that it was going to be like the greatest game ever, and then the hype kind of died down a bit when they announced around November that it's not going to come out yet. And then, 6 months later, we finally got it. People seem to like it though, so I guess that's good. Yeah, so I mean, Watch Dogs is selling really well. I don't know what that says about the game itself, but it is selling well, so that's good news for Ubisoft. I've said in a different video, I don't think I said on the vlogcast yet, my one hope is that they don't turn this into a new yearly series like they did with Assassin's Creed. Please, Ubisoft, don't. Because as great as it is to see new IPs, Ubisoft has a really bad habit of having something sell well and then redoing it every single year. And that's what we've seen with Assassin's Creed, which is why I haven't played like the last 4 Assassin's Creed games, because I played the one 5 games ago and they haven't changed that much. So I guess that's all I'd want to see, is them not doing that. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers Watch Dogs. The other thing, since we're kind of clearing up some doom and gloom, there's some good news for Microsoft out. Actually, quite a few good things coming out for Microsoft. The first is that, let's see, Twitter, Vine, HBO Go, Showtime, Anytime, Comedy Central, and MLG are among the 45 plus new experiences coming to Xbox. This is an article from Xbox Wire. Basically, they've got a bunch of apps coming to Xbox One, which is pretty cool. I know that they are definitely all about making kind of one console that does everything, and that's what they want. Is they don't want you to just play games on Xbox. They want you to watch TV and listen to music and everything. So I think it's good to see that they're gonna kind of live up to that and bring a whole bunch of TV stations and apps and all that stuff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, and I think they've been pushing it for a while as, the answer to everything, the answer, the one entertainment system. And I think it's definitely going more in that direction. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many systems, a lot of systems, too many systems. But I think adding more is always a good thing.
Right. Well, I know for me, like, I love just having the PS4 plugged into the TV so I can watch Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix just like right through the PS4.
Yeah.
I think the more things a console can do, because the worst thing that happens is you just don't use it. Like if it's not something you want,
Yeah.
you just don't use it. Like someone out there is going to be tweeting from their Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not me, but someone will. So I think that's cool to see. Good on them for kind of pushing through sort of all of the kind of lashback they had from
Yeah.
a lot of people. They've been pushing through and they've been really kind of improving their game, kind of stepping things up. I know their Games for Gold is kind of mimicking PS Plus now. It's not, in my opinion, it's not quite up to par as far as quality goes, but They are giving free games just like PlayStation does, so they are like kind of moving in the right direction and taking a lot of hints from Sony, I think, which is good to see. I think it's going to help them a lot, and I
Yeah.
imagine we're going to see a lot of probably interesting announcements from them for E3.
Yeah, for sure.
Um. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, since we've had a lot of happy news, let's jump into Sonic Boom. Sonic, the series that just won't die. I really wish that they just leave Sonic alone at this point. Well, a few months ago, a lot of people probably saw the Sonic Boom announcement where they showed off some character art, and it is probably the ugliest character art I have ever seen for anything. The characters just look god awful. Like they made what Knuckles was every day is upper body day. He's got like this crazy like muscular chest going on, and then he's got little like toothpick legs. Everything just looks off. And sadly, we still saw a bunch of people going, "Oh, a new Sonic game. Maybe this will be the one that's finally good again." And I just said, don't fall into the hype. Don't do it. Sadly, we've now seen some gameplay footage. If you'd like to go, you can YouTube Sonic Boom. You can find the 3DS and the Wii U gameplay footage now, and it doesn't look good. The weirdest thing is the person commenting on it talks about it like it's the greatest thing to happen to Sonic, and I'm like, this looks bad. It just looks bad. Like the classic Sonic gameplay that we all want again isn't there very much. It's like a quarter of the game. The rest is like really slow, like awkward brawler kind of combat. Like it looks like Knack, I guess, for like if you've seen Knack for PS4, that's what it looks like. And while Knack was pretty good, Sonic should not play like Knack ever. So I don't know. I guess my opinion is just leave Sonic alone. Just leave us with our memories of when Sonic was good, and just kill the franchise now.
Let it die in peace.
Right, like how many bad Sonic games do we have to go through? And the weirdest thing is there's this cycle every time. And certain games go through these cycles, like Zelda's got a cycle and Call of Duty has a cycle. The Sonic cycle is announce a new Sonic, people get hype. Comes out, it's really bad. There's a lot of Sonic apologizers who say you just don't get it. It's pretty good. It's okay for Sonic. You just don't understand. You're not a real Sonic fan.
Well, see, the thing is, like, in my opinion, in order for a game to really be good, it has to be good, like, no matter what it is.
Right.
It doesn't, I mean, just having it, well, it's Sonic, so that makes it better. And it's like,
Yeah, that doesn't count. And the thing is, like,
the,
it's not even it's not even good as a Sonic game.
right. And the thing is, like, the reason everyone loved the old Sonic games was because they were really good games.
Yeah, and
Like,
so the weirdest thing about this, right, is that they keep going farther and farther from that core gameplay. Like they keep making it like 3D or like a mix between 2D and 3D, and people just want like a good 2D Sonic game again. Like Mega Man, they made Mega Man 9 and 10 a couple years ago, and what they did was they said, we're going to use the 8-bit sprites, we're going to use the exact same gameplay from the 8-bit games, we're just going to make new bosses, new levels, and give it to you. People loved them because it's just the old Mega Man games brought back. Just give us an old Sonic game.
yeah.
That's like if you're gonna put a bunch of time and money into making Sonic, just make a new old Sonic game. That's all I want.
And if you think about, like, so we were just talking about Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart, there's been iterations of Mario Kart, forever. For years and years and years. But they keep being really good because it's like the same as the first one, except prettier and better and has better controls and is with, today's technology.
Right.
But we were talking about the other day, if you look at some of the levels from some of the old Sonic games that were put into the Sonic Mario Kart 8. Sorry, I said Sonic. I meant Mario
Yeah.
Kart. It's like it's the same thing. It's just like today's version of it.
Right. And that's really cool. It's cool to see old levels brought back. I mean, they could do that. They could make a Sonic game that's like throwbacks to old levels and
Yeah.
be fine. Um, I mean, like you do almost border then on the point of like not changing enough in the case of Mario Kart,
Yeah,
but I think Mario Kart releases like they're kind of few and far between. You basically get like one a console.
right.
So it's not like Call of Duty where we're getting a new Mario Kart every year. It's been like 3 or 4 years since the last one, so even though the gameplay didn't change much, I think people were, ready for it. And I was ready for more Mario Kart. I was ready. I knew there was only going to be 16 more levels that I hadn't played before, and that's fine. Like, I'd rather see that happen every few years than the same thing happen yearly or seeing someone like change something too far away from what I fell in love with to begin with.
Well, and I think that one of the marks of what I think is a good game is that even if it's repetitive, it makes you want to keep playing.
Right.
I mean, some games, some great games are really not repetitive at all, and some are, but they all have that in common that they make you want to go back and play more.
Right. I like to call it the Spelunky effect. It's like no matter how you die in Spelunky, no matter how far you got, typically I'm clicking the quick restart button to just keep playing more. And when a game gets that nailed, that's when you know you've got a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's Sonic. Yeah. All right. So cool. Here's some other stuff. Last week we talked about the Sony E3 press conference, which is happening on Monday, being aired in some theaters, and I said there would be some special gift. It's rumored right now that that will be a Battlefield Hardline beta. So that's kind of cool, I guess. You'll get into the beta. In addition to that, the footage is probably gone now, but because I'm, constantly watching Twitter, I was able to catch it earlier. It's like 50 seconds of the leaked trailer for Battlefield Hardline, which I caught before it was pulled down. You can look if you think, but I'm sure it's probably taken down by now. Of course, it might be announced by the time this goes up. But anyways, yeah, Battlefield's not really my thing, but it's out there. It's coming October 21st, which for them to announce, I would guess at E3, that's like a pretty quick turnaround. We don't normally see that with games anymore, and it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like the opposite of what we were talking about with Watch Dogs. It seems like they're gonna go for like a quick hype, like boom, here it is, like 2 months from now, and people are gonna be able to go pick it up in October. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'd rather see that because then at least if it's a game I'm not interested in, I only have to hear about it for a few months. But yeah, I think it's almost better to announce games pretty close to when they come out. Um, just because then you don't have that long to wait. So that's cool.
You also don't have that problem of falling flat on your face in front of everyone when you can't get it out on time.
Right. And that actually brings me to another really interesting point. Um, Batman Arkham Knight was announced a few weeks ago. I think it was just announced, or maybe the first trailer for it came out a few weeks ago. We haven't seen too much of it yet, right? But it hasn't been that long since it was announced, and they're like, yeah, it's going to come out in November. Well, that was like 3 weeks ago, and they announced like 2 days ago it's getting delayed into 2015. And I was like, what happened in the last 3 weeks that made it like potentially a
Yeah.
6 month delay? Because 3 weeks ago you were like, November, you're going to play the new Batman.
Definitely
And
makes it seem
now,
like someone is just not paying attention.
yeah, that was really weird. I've never seen something like that happen. Because, like, the way Watch Dogs happened was they announced it at E3, and then we didn't hear anything for like 3 or 4 months. And then they're like, it's getting delayed. That I understand. And I'm like, that explains why they were so quiet for 4 months.
Right.
But this was like 3 weeks ago. They're like, here's Batman, here's the trailer. And now it's delayed.
Yeah.
That seems weird to me. I would think if you're gonna like be set with a trailer and a kind of sort of release date, that you're pretty sure you're gonna hit that release date.
I would hope so that they're like planning enough to figure that out beforehand.
Right, but that's like the third game now I think that is supposed to come out this fall that's been pushed to 2015. Like the
Yeah.
third big game. So it's happening a lot. I kind of wish it
Just
wasn't,
yeah,
but
it's weird. It's just like a weird it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just people still kind of getting used to developing for the new consoles.
Yeah,
Although, from what I've heard, they're supposed to be similar to developing for PC, so that was supposed to make everything easier.
right.
So I don't know. But yeah, so I guess that's that. So Battlefield Hardline probably getting announced Monday, I would guess, because that would tie into giving people the beta at the Sony E3 kind of live event. So yeah, you can look forward to that if you are a Battlefield fan. Keep in mind though, Battlefield 4 I've heard still has some online issues, and we're talking a game that was released like November.
Yeah.
So I would say be wary. See if it's the same developers. See if it's gonna have the same kind of issues. Maybe wait for reviews to come out before you buy into it. But that would just be my recommendation to people. All right. This is an interesting one. I think you're gonna get a kick out of this. So a few years ago, there was this game that came out called Homefront, right? And it was kind of it's your typical kind of like bro dude shooter, kind of, but it was set with the war taking place on American soil, which is
Mhm.
pretty different. And it wasn't like a World War II game or anything, right? This
Okay.
was like fictional, like Korea has invaded the U.S. and we're fighting on U.S.
Mhm.
soil, right? Which is kind of a cool premise. However, the game came out, it was real bad, right? Like really, really bad. This was by THQ, which, if you didn't know, like 6-ish months ago, THQ totally closed down. They had to fire everyone. They just filed for bankruptcy, had to close down. A lot of their kind of IPs were bought by various other companies in the hopes that they could continue them. The weirdest one was Homefront was actually bought by Crytek, I believe, who made Crysis. Crysis was really good, but I thought maybe they were just buying Homefront to get like the assets and stuff, and probably weren't going to do anything. However, they announced Homefront: The Revolution, which is supposed to be like a sequel slash, I would imagine, kind of a reboot, which is cool. I think that's fine. The weirdest thing to me is that people are like super hyped up right now about Homefront. And I'm like, why? Homefront 1 was really bad. Like, I get that it's a new developer and a new publisher, but like, just chill. Wait to see how it turns out. Like, don't get
Yeah.
hype. Don't get hype. Just like that's like my biggest advice to people. Don't get hype yet. Like, relax.
So
Like,
easy to fall into that trap, though.
right, like, and it's going to be really bad this week with E3 up. There's going to be so many people who
Well,
fall
that's
into
like the
these
whole
hype
big
traps.
conferences like E3. It's to generate the hype,
Right,
people to be crazed.
right. And then, like, a lot of times you fall into it, and then you find out later that it is not as good as you thought it would be. So I would just say, like, let the game come out, see what happens, see what reviews say before you, like, get hyped that there's a new Homefront game. I guess it's just weird because Homefront 1 was really bad. Maybe there's like a weird group of people that really liked it and they're kind of starting the hype, but it just seems like a bit misplaced in my opinion. So yeah, that's Homefront, I
Wasn't
guess.
there like a movie like that a year ago or so?
Um
I feel like there's some movie where like some foreign country attacked the US and people were fighting. Maybe I'm imagining things. I
I have
don't
no idea. You lost me there.
know. Okay.
Sorry. There certainly could be, but I wouldn't know about anything like that. Let's see. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Going back to Nintendo, there is a rumor, including a picture of it, because of course right now they're setting up E3, right? Because it's happening in a few days, so all the booths and everything are getting set up. There's a rumor that they are going to announce Mario Maker, and there's this picture of them kind of having like a promotional image of the booth set up at E3. So I'm led to believe that this is probably happening, but pictures have been faked before, so don't hold me accountable for this information. This is a Polygon article, and they've been reached out, asked about it. They're not commenting, of course. No one would, of course. Like, hey, we've got this picture saying you're going to show this new game off at E3. No one's going to comment about it, right? But what it is, what it looks like, and what people are guessing is that it would have the assets of the original, like Super Mario Bros., and you would be able to create your own levels, which I'm assuming.
That would be cool.
Right, which I'm assuming people would be able to like download and play, and you can send it to your friends, things like that. Oh, that seems pretty cool. I think that's a cool idea. I could imagine myself paying $10 or $15 to play around with that. I don't know if I'd really do much more than that, but like I wouldn't want to see this as like a $60 release.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see myself paying 10 or 15
Yeah.
for it. I think the only way I could justify a $60 release is if it had. You probably don't know this, but they released Super Mario All Stars back on like the SNES, and it had all of the NES Mario games as well as Super Mario World. I think if they did like, here you get Super Mario All Stars plus all the assets, so you can make a Super Mario Bros. 3 level or a Super Mario World level. I think if they did that, then I could imagine a $60 release.
Yeah.
But if it's just the original Mario, probably not. I would think it's probably like a downloadable. That would be my guess. But still, it sounds like a pretty cool idea. I think that could be neat.
Hate to interrupt you, but
Go
I
for
was
it.
right. It's called Red Dawn. It came out in 1984, and there was a remake
Oh,
in 2012.
with like Channing Tatum, right? Wasn't he in that?
Josh Hutcherson, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, not Channing Tatum.
So, ha!
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
And
about
the
now.
original one had Patrick Swayze.
Right. I think they're those. That's another weird one because I don't think the new one had like anywhere near the same plot as the old one.
I've never seen either of them. I just saw the commercials, so.
But yeah, so that's that. Look out for Nintendo potentially announcing Mario Maker. That could be cool. I kind of hope it's true. It sounds like a pretty neat idea. Reminds me of like oh, what was it? The Mario music game. I never remember what it's called. But you had like you could make the little music things. The Nintendo fans in the audience will know what I'm talking about. Let's see. This is a pretty important one, I think. So Steam has their FAQ page for Steam Early Access. What it is, what it's about, what it entails. They have now updated it to say that early access games may never be finished. And I think that's a really important thing for people to know. Because I think Towns was the one. Did you hear about this? Did you
No.
hear about Towns? Towns is a weird one. So Towns was one of the original like 6-game batch from the very first Greenlight batch, right? And I think it got onto Steam before early access, so it's not technically an early access game, but it was the developers made it very clear that like this is alpha, it's nowhere near being done, but we're gonna start selling it on Steam. So it kind of ushered in like the early access thing. Recently, it's still got big problems, right? Recently they announced we're done, we're not gonna work on it anymore, and in fact we're probably gonna start working on Towns 2. And a lot of the things that we were going to do in Towns 1 that we never got around to, we'll throw them in Towns 2. So, like, people are pissed, right? Like, I would be too. Like, that's messed up. And for a while, I think you could still buy Towns on Steam. After they announced this, I think Steam has since pulled it and has offered, like, refunds to anyone who wants that. But I think it's good for them to kind of clarify that with Steam Early Access, there is a good chance that any game you buy in Early Access might never see release. In a full version.
A wise disclaimer.
Right. And my thing is, like, I won't buy Early Access games unless I trust the developer. I know I cover a lot of Early Access games. Those are always games that I get press copies of. Because I am not really okay with buying Early Access. The only time I did was Nuclear Throne. And that's like a no-brainer. Like, Flambear's gonna finish the game. It's gonna be awesome. So that's kind of my thing. But there are a lot of games that release on Early Access with like huge features missing. And sometimes still sell really well. Like,
I've never understood that.
it's weird. So like the newest one this week was The Forest, which I looked at before it came out and I was like, this doesn't look great. This looks kind of bad. It released. It doesn't have a save function right now, so you can't save.
That's so like
And I think at
sketchy.
most, right. And I think when I saw people, they said like they finished all the content in like 3 or 4 hours. And this is supposed to be like an open world survival game eventually.
Sounds like one of those crappy online Flash player games.
It's weird. A lot of people seem to like it. Like it looks okay. I wouldn't say like it's a flash player game or anything, cuz like graphically it's pretty good.
Uh huh.
Um but it was the top seller on Steam for like
Yeah,
24 hours.
that's
That's wild to me. Um I mean, cool. Like, if that's what people want to play, it's pretty similar to like Daisy and Rust, which are also like always in the top 10 Steam sellers.
uh huh.
People seem to really like these unfinished, like survival games.
And
I don't know why. I guess that's the recipe. Like, make a half decent, but make sure it's unfinished. Make a half decent unfinished survival game, and you're set to go. You're gonna make bank, I guess. Yeah. But I think still it's good for Steam to say that. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of them if something goes wrong.
yeah,
So, yeah. I guess I haven't asked in a while. Do you have any news that you would like to bring up?
not at the moment.
Okay, cool. Then I guess I will just keep going with things that I have found. So this is kind of unfortunate. I don't know how many people knew about this. It was something that I was looking forward to, but there were a group of fans that were making a Metal Gear remake of the original Metal Gear. And it was announced this week that it's no longer in development. The mod site reads, this is from a GameSpot article, by the way, giving credit where credit is due. The mod site reads, the mod you are trying to view has ceased development and consequently been archived. If you are a member of the mod, can demonstrate that it is being actively developed and will be able to keep this profile up to date with the latest news, images, videos, downloads. Please contact us with details and we will consider its reactivation. Um, yeah, the project was originally pitched as being like approved by Konami. And right now they've reached out to Konami and Konami is not offering any comment. So this makes me think a couple things. One, it could be that Konami just shut it down and they said, no, we don't like what you're doing. It doesn't look up to par of what we would want to see. That would be like the worst case scenario, I think. Better case scenarios, there is a chance that Konami said, wow, you guys are like really taking this farther than we thought. Why don't you come work for us? We'll pay and help you. You don't have to like do this through a donation anymore. We'll just like fund you. We'll release it and help you get some money. That would be what I'd like to see. And that would explain a lot of like the mod's been shut down, Konami's not answering right now. Like that would explain a lot of that. But I don't know. I'd hope to see it not just be totally dead. But I guess we'll just see what comes from it. Maybe it is dead. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about that?
I don't know. I feel like with those kind of things that it's kind of a tenuous grip on like structure and organization that it could be really easy for it to fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're always at risk, like remaking a big game like this. You're always at risk of the company coming in at any time and saying, just kind of pulling the plug on the project.
Yeah.
So, again, I hope that's not what happened, but if it did, I mean, Konami certainly has the right to do that,
Yeah.
especially if they were taking like donation money to keep working on it.
And not working on it.
Well, I'm assuming they were still working on it. I'm not sure. I mean, it's so hard to tell from the outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's that. That's unfortunate to see. But maybe something better could come out of it. You
Yeah.
never know. I like to think on the positive, I guess, about these kind of things. Maybe something good will come out of it.
So, did you see that Satoru Iwata is not coming to E3?
I did. It was kind of an interesting thing. I was going to mention that a little later, but yeah, that was kind of interesting. Didn't they say it was like illness related? Or did
They
he not
said
mention why?
that they didn't say he was sick, but that his physician didn't want him to travel overseas.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not anything too serious.
Yeah.
Huge figure, of course, with Nintendo, but it would be, yeah, it'd be unfortunate to see anything happen. But I'm sure Reggie will be there. I'm sure um, Sakurai will be there probably because I know the big focus this one is hyping up Smash. So, there'll still be some Nintendo representatives, but it will be a little weird, I think, without Iwata there. But yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. You know, it's never good to see anything like that where someone's having health issues. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. I
Yeah.
guess that's what I'll say about that. I'm sure Nintendo's whatever they do. I know they're not like doing a real press conference. They're doing like their Nintendo Direct
Yep.
during E3 again. I'm sure that'll still go off all right. Hopefully, it streams better this year. Last year, I could not watch. I had to watch a YouTube recording of it later because it was like cutting out constantly for me. So, yeah, I'm sure Nintendo stuff will still be good though.
Yeah.
Speaking of E3, Sony has announced their lineup for the show floor, and this is huge. I'm just gonna like boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna read through this list because it is huge. All right, Aru's Awakening, Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed, Apotheon, Assault Android Cactus, Axiom Verge, Big Fest, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, woo! Chasm, Counterspy, Danganronpa 2, Destiny, Diablo 3, Disgaea 4, Disney Infinity 2 with Marvel, Superheroes, woo! Drive Club, Dynasty Warriors, Gundam Reborn, Earth Knight, Freedom Wars, Galaxy, Gravity Crash Ultra, Guilty Gear, Gunship X, Helldivers, Hohokum, Home, Hotline Miami 2, Hyper Light Drifter, Invisimals, Jamestown Plus, Killzone Shadowfall, Intercept, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix, Legend of Raven, Lego Batman 3, Mech Runner, Metrico, MLB 14, Murasaki Baby, N++, Nidhogg, Night in the Woods, Nuclear Throne, Oddworld New and Tasty, One Way Trip, Persona 4, Arena Ultimix, PS Vita Pets, Pixel Junk Shooter Ultimate, PlanetSide 2, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, Project Cars, Race the Sun, Road Not Taken, Rogue Legacy, Samurai Warriors 4, Secret Ponchos, Shadow Warrior, Source, Star Wall Just the Tip, Super Exploding Zoo, Switch Galaxy Ultra, Tales of Xillia 2, Teslagrad, The Crew, The Golf Club, The Order 1886, The Swapper, 2 Leave, EA Sports UFC, Valiant Hearts, Velocity 2X, Zen Pinball 2, The Walking Dead Table Pack. Boom. So if it's not on that list, sorry. You don't get it. Unless it's a secret announcement. Woo! Alright. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, it sounds exciting.
They're Sony's coming out in full force. They're like, we got 3 systems and we got like 80 games that you're gonna get to play if you go to E3. So that's cool. I mean, it's awesome to see that they're like, no, we're not gonna. Well, I'm sure they will announce like a couple of big things, but they're like, we're not all just about announcing 2 or 3 big games. Play 80 of them,
Yeah.
and I think that that's probably a good way to go, especially because people still like now, still to this day, are saying like the Vita doesn't have games. BS. Like Vita has too many games. Like I've got a 64 gig memory card that is packed full. I've got like 60 games on my Vita.
Yeah.
It's got games, and it's getting more apparently. So yeah, there's Sony's list. Of course, that is just what's going to be on the show floor. I'm assuming most of what they announce during their press conference will not be things from that list. So
Yeah.
you can look forward to that, of course, on the 9th again, if you want to make sure you watch it live. All right. Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't have anything else to say about that ridiculously long list.
No.
It's
A long list.
a long list. I mean, that's good news. And of course, that is split across the 3 various platforms. Some are for PS4, some are for Vita, some are for PS3, some are for all 3. So,
Yeah.
a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of things I'm looking forward to personally.
Yeah.
I think the nice thing with a list that large is that everyone's going to find something.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of different genres, a lot of different systems, just kind of covering a whole huge range of things.
For sure. And that's kind of been Sony's thing lately is um, let's not cater to any specific person. Let's just cater to everyone.
Right.
Which is funny because like when Sony started, they took kind of the opposite approach of Nintendo. Because Nintendo has always kind of catered to kids in a way,
Uh huh.
and now more than ever, of course. When Sony came out, the person who was like head of marketing, I don't remember who, for the first PlayStation, but they were they figured out that like the age that everyone wants to be is 19. And
Yeah.
that may be different now, but that's pretty close. You know, like between 19 and 21, I think, is pretty
Yeah.
much what everyone wants to be. Before you're that age, that's the age you want to be. Once you're past that age, that's the age you want to be again.
Yeah.
So that's how they marketed the PlayStation. They're like, we're gonna market it as if we're marketing it to like college age, 19 to 21 age people.
Right.
And for the longest time, that's how they marketed. That's who they were. And now, you know, they're taking more of a let's just cater to everyone.
Yeah.
I think both approaches are fine. I think you can cater to your specific audience. That's certainly what Microsoft does. But you know, I think it works out well for Sony to kind of cater to everyone a bit. All right. I did want to mention. I always kind of try to mention Kickstarters that are going on. Super Hot, of course, which started as a 7-day FPS game, is now being turned into a full game. Uh, First put on Kickstarter like 3 weeks ago, had a goal of $100,000, met it in like 12 hours. It is now at 198,000 with about 8 days to go. So if you want to get in on that, you have about a week. So I would definitely say check it out. They've met some stretch goals already, but you can go look at their Kickstarter and see some more stretch goals. It looks awesome. I think this is going to be the game that kind of changes first-person shooters for the good. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that any game will change anything
Yeah.
unless I really think it will. Do you know about Super Hot at all?
No.
Okay, so Super Hot's cool. When you're not moving, time is still. Time only moves when you move.
Huh.
So you've got a few bullets to finish each level, and you have to kill every enemy. And they, of course, have bullets that they can shoot you with.
Right.
So it becomes kind of a puzzle, basically, of how you're going to get through the level, kill everyone, and not get hit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. I think it's a really, really good thing to see something so interesting being done with a shooter.
Yeah, it's definitely a different approach than most games use, you know?
For sure. Especially in a genre that's pretty stagnant
Yeah,
lately. Like, there's not been a lot of innovation with shooters.
for sure.
All right. Well, I still have some smaller things. That was pretty much all of the big stuff. Let's see. So I guess, unless you have anything that you want to mention.
Go ahead.
Okay. The first kind of small bit of news is that Media Molecule is not showing anything at E3 this year.
Huh.
I know that's definitely a big disappointment for me, but it makes me think that they're really polishing something up right now. Because if they were going to come out with something this year, or before next E3 anyways, they would show it. So I have a feeling they're kind of in an innovation phase right now.
Yeah.
Of course, if you are unaware, Media Molecule is Little Big Planet, Tearaway. I think that might be everything to their name, but those are some really good games to have to your name.
Yeah.
Last year at E3, they showed off the thing with the Move, where you could make things out of clay and then play around with them. I think that was just kind of an idea, though. I don't know if that's going to be a game that comes out, or if they're still just toying around with that, or what. But yeah, I think it'll be a little unfortunate to not see them on the Sony press conference, but I'm sure they're doing good work. I know that's probably a particular disappointment for you, huh?
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of theirs. All right. Some of the stuff I already covered. Let's see. Oh, Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 10. That is the big debate right now. Is it X or 10? I'm calling it Mortal Kombat 10, so that's where I'm going to stand on this. I don't care what you call it, just don't argue. Please don't argue with me. Just call it what you want. It's fine. Anyways, it was announced, so that's cool. They showed off some footage. I didn't check it out, but people said it looks pretty good. I really, really liked Mortal Kombat 9, and this is coming from someone who, one, has never liked a Mortal Kombat game, and two, typically hates fighting games. So, Mortal Kombat 9 was a big turnaround for me. I probably put like 60 hours into it, which is almost the most that I've put in any fighting game. I think the only other one I can think of would be like Soul Calibur 2. I put way more time into that.
Yeah.
But unless you count Melee. Of course, Melee I've got probably 2,000 hours or so in. But anyways, yeah, Mortal Kombat 10 has been announced. I'm sure it'll come out for every console on the planet except Wii U and
Yeah.
Wii and 3DS, because that's probably what'll happen. But yeah, for Mortal Kombat fans, it's really good news. Same team that worked on 9, so good to see, I guess. I'm
Yeah.
sure I will like it. Alright, we talked about Homefront 2. Forza Horizon 2 was announced. Obviously, going to be for probably, I would guess, Xbox One. I didn't actually check. I'm sure it was announced which consoles it would be for, but
Yeah.
games got weird numbering schemes because the last Forza game was Forza 5. So now we get Forza Horizon 2. I'm not sure if there's a difference, but Forza is one of the very few like series that Microsoft has just for Xbox. So I
Mhm.
know that's kind of like one of their big selling points is you can play Forza. So that's interesting. And then I guess on the opposite end, Dead Rising 3 was announced for PC already. It's going to come out this summer.
Huh.
So that's kind of wild because that's one of the very, very few reasons to own an Xbox One right now is to play
Yeah.
Dead Rising 3. At least from a game standpoint, of course. Like you can do tons of other things besides games, but if you're talking about game exclusives, it seems a little weird that Microsoft would let that happen so soon. So yeah, I guess if you that's the other thing. If you want to play Dead Rising 3 and don't have an Xbox One, you can get it on Steam this summer. So there's that. Oh, and actually the best part is that was the next thing on my list. I didn't even realize. Um okay, this is cool. I wanted to ask what you thought about this. Um Rebellion makes these games called Sniper Elite. And basically you play as a sniper, right? And it's all about like taking these shots and it gives you like the X-ray as your bullet goes in, right? They're pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're into that thing, if you don't mind a little bit of gore, they're pretty cool. Anyways, I think in like about a month-ish, Sniper Elite 3 comes out. So yesterday, which will be Wednesday for those watching the video, they made it so that if you downloaded Sniper Elite V2 on Steam, it
Mhm.
was it was free all day on Wednesday. If you downloaded it, you get to keep it forever, and that's kind of their like sort of promotion for the sequel coming out.
Yeah.
So personally, I think that's really cool. They said they got like 2 million downloads
Huh.
in one day, which is
That's crazy.
pretty nuts, right? And I mean, like it's a game that goes on sale for like 375 all the time. So I don't think they're. I think at this point they know like the people who don't have it aren't going to pay for it.
Right.
So why don't we give it for free and see if we can hook them in before the third one comes out?
Right.
Personally, I think that's like a really cool thing to do, and I haven't seen many companies do anything like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Right. It's I think it's a really good way to do promotion.
Yeah.
Like here, if you buy, if you aren't sure and don't want to spend a few bucks on it, just take it, have it for
Yeah.
free, try it out, see if you want to play the third one.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. If nothing else, like it just gets them like good PR because
Yeah.
everyone's like, wow, that's like a really cool thing to do, even if they weren't interested in the game. Like now you know that that developer is like pretty cool people, pretty nice. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Sorry I didn't make like an announcement video or anything. I think I might have retweeted someone's link about it, but so sorry if you missed it. But yeah, um, I think that's a really cool thing to do. I would love to see more developers do stuff like that, especially if they're a developer that has a lot of money anyways and can afford that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know, because
it
like
would
on the
be. Go
go
ahead.
for it. No, go for it.
Oh, it would be really hard for a smaller company to kind of afford to be able to do something like that.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I was thinking on like the opposite side of the spectrum. When Activision games go on sale on Steam, Call of Duty 4, which came out I think 8 years ago now, 7 or 8 years ago, goes on sale for $15.
Yeah,
How many Call of Duty games have there been since then? World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, Ghosts. There's been 6 Call of Duty games since that one.
yeah,
And you're still going to charge me $15 for it? Like, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. Like, who would pay that for like a
yeah.
7-year-old game? That's nuts.
Crazy.
Especially like in the PC gaming world, that's like murder. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And that's like during a big Steam sale. That's what they're charging. You're like, man, you've got the wrong idea of like what sale means.
Yeah.
Like, I get selling the new ones for not a huge discount, but that's wild. So yeah, I guess it's good to see a developer do some good in those kind of regards to promote the new game. Um, and then the last thing that I had written down to check out was today the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix was announced. Trailer came out. Release date was announced for December 2nd, so that's cool. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, this is awesome. It's your first chance to play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix in English. So that's good news. Previously, I believe you had to buy a Japanese PS2 and import a Japanese copy of Final Mix. So, similar to 1.5, this will get you that. It also gets you Birth by Sleep redone, which I know a lot of people will be looking forward to that, because the only way to play that right now is if you own a PSP and own a physical copy, because it's not on the PlayStation Network. And it also has the cutscenes for one of the other ones. Same thing as the first one. 2 games and cutscenes from a third game. So I think this is good timing because I know they are kind of in the midst of promoting Kingdom Hearts 3, which does not have a release date, despite them maybe working on it for the last 10 years. But hopefully it comes out soon. I know me and Kingdom Hearts fans everywhere are dying to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is like all of the news that I picked out earlier. Let me go through Reddit games and see if there's anything else that pops out at me. Witcher 3 got a release date, February 24th. So that'll be cool. I know a lot of people looking forward to that. Witcher 2 is really, really good. So if you are into that, I'm sure you're looking forward to Witcher 3. Do you have anything, by the way?
Nope, you got all mine.
Alright. Yeah, sorry about that. I guess I should have asked a little
No,
more
you're fine.
often. Yeah, sorry again as well to the audience that this week was kind of a, well, here's the news. There isn't a whole lot to say about it because it's just been that kind of news this week. Next week, I think the discussions are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since there isn't any more news, I actually wanted to ask you, do you have any predictions slash things that you would like to see from E3?
Well, I'm definitely hoping to see kind of a bigger range of games coming out for the next gen slash current gen consoles. So like PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. Something that's a lot of them have been, these typical gamer kind of games,
Right.
but not stuff for some of the more casual, gamers or more puzzle based things. So I'd be interested in seeing some more kind of expansion of what they've been doing with their new systems.
Sure, definitely.
It
Any game that you are particularly hoping to see more of?
Not yet. I haven't been able to spend a lot of time looking at it this week, but I'm sure I will have a whole lot to say about them next week once we've seen what comes out.
Awesome. I know they're showing off some more of Hohokum,
Yeah,
so I know you'll be looking forward to that. That got a release date as well, August 12th. You can look out
nice.
for Hohokum. It looks really good. Sony exclusive, of course, but yeah. I'm assuming you want to hear my answer to the same question.
I already asked. What about you?
All right. Well, I think the biggest thing is I want to see Nintendo like hitting hard and heavy this year. I want to see them come on the stage floor and be like, "Here's your new Zelda for Wii U. Here's your new Metroid for Wii U. Here's your new Star Fox for Wii U. And if you couldn't handle that, here's a new F-Zero for Wii U." Like just bring back all the old franchises, like new games all coming out this year or early next year. Right? So they're just like boom 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 boom. Here's your reasons to buy a Wii U. And then I wanted to see them say, "And here's these cool new IPs that we've got as well." I know that's a big ask because they're normally like, we're only going to do 5 games a year. I want them to like throw that away and just say, here's a whole bunch of games because we need to sell consoles.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see from Nintendo. Sony, I pretty much just want to see them keep doing the same thing they're doing. The biggest thing is I want to see a couple of big games come out this year
Yeah.
before Christmas because a lot of the ones that were supposed to come out have been delayed. I want to see the big games come out for this year. Something really big announced. I guess. And then for Microsoft, I guess like I want to just see them keep moving forward, like in the same direction they're doing. I don't want to see a press conference full of Connect junk. I don't want to see it full of like, hey, we got Usher, we got blah blah blah. I don't want to see any of that. I just want to see them announce some games. I want to see them like focus on the gamers, focus on what people want. And I don't want to see Watch Dogs 2. No, I guess the biggest thing that I would look forward to. There's been a rumor that Nintendo might be announcing Symphony of the Night 2, which I guess if any rumor was to come true, that's the one that I would want. Other than that, I'm just gonna see what happens. Guess yeah, I guess that's what I want to see. I want to see those things happening. No games in specific really. Like I don't care. I just want to see more games.
Yeah.
That's all. Doesn't have to be anything specific. So yeah, I guess next week we'll be able to say what we got and if we were pleased. Alright, so I think it is that time where we will talk about what we've played this week and what we're looking forward to next week. Would you like to start with what you played this week?
Well, obviously Mario Kart 8.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart 8 is really, really good. I know I said this last week, but if you own a Wii U, do yourself a favor and pick up Mario Kart 8. Best game on the system, by far. So
Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
that would be... Holy hell, there was a new Bit Trip game out today. That's really cool. I didn't even notice. This is the problem. So many games come out every single day. Okay, so yes, my turn, I guess. What did I play this week? I've been playing 1001 Spikes like mad. Oh, I guess I should have asked. Did you play anything else, or did you just play?
No, that was it.
Okay.
What
One
happens when you have a job?
and threes. I know you've been playing threes.
Oh, I always play threes.
Never gonna stop playing threes. I've moved on. Like as much as I love threes, I've just kind of left it.
Hey, I beat my high score today.
That's awesome. That's good news. Did you get a new piece?
No,
Ah,
I was
that's
close
unfortunate. All right. Yeah, I've been playing 1001 Spikes like mad. I love that game. Although today in a video you will see me break down. Actually, that video I think is coming out Saturday. No, Sunday. So you can. Well, Saturday was a breakdown too. Every episode's a breakdown. Oh, that game. just pushes me to my limits. But I keep going back. I can't stop playing. So yeah, that I guess that would be my big recommendation. Like that is potentially going to be my favorite game of June, and it's June 5th right now. So yeah, that's how good it is. Have you pulled up Steam?
Have I pulled up Steam?
Yes,
No.
you should do that. So
My
we can.
computer doesn't like it right now.
Oh, not the web page, not the client. Unless your computer doesn't like that either.
I don't know. My computer's having a hard day.
Oh, should have bought a PC.
Nope, I'm happy with my Mac.
Whoa, I forgot that you have the loudest typing ever. Yeah, because we're going to talk about quickly the new games coming out, anything that looks cool. By the way, if you didn't know already, 16 games are set already to release on Friday. Just looking at the coming soon games. So many, right? I gave up. I emailed like 2 devs, and after that I was like, I don't want to mess with it. Like, I can't get even close to covering out all the games. Of course, most of them don't look good, so I guess that's the good thing. Just don't pay attention to any game that comes on Steam that looks bad. Then it's like only one game releases every day. All right, do you have Steam open?
I do.
All right, so what are we looking for? Is the 12th? Yeah, anything through the 12th that looks cool.
Hey, well, what the hell is Chicken Invaders for?
Probably something really awful.
Yeah.
Apologies to the dev if you happen to be one of the 10 people who watch this video. Okay, so I am doing a video on Concursion, which I already played. You can check out my thoughts on the video, which should be out the day this goes up. I don't want to say anything about it right now. Just go check out the video. It's okay. And then I will be doing a video on Haunt the House Terror Town as soon as I can play it. That looks pretty cool. Other than that, there's not a lot of great looking stuff coming out this week.
Yeah. Not.
How many zombie games are coming out this week, by the way?
5 bazillion.
Okay, so let me look at this.
Daisy.
We've got. I'm just like looking through some of these. Oh wait, I think I missed one. Oh no, I think I missed a zombie game.
Oh no.
Oh no, there's a World War II game. Just as bad as a zombie game. Pixel Puzzles Undead Z. A game just called Z. A game called Dead Bits, which I'm assuming is also about zombies. Oh, alien zombies even.
Oh.
Global Outbreak Doomsday Edition. The best part is, all 4 of these that I just listed, June 6th. So, if you love zombie games, June 6th is like your birthday. Other than that, like, it doesn't look like anything spectacular is coming out. The next thing I see that, like, is really good is Probability Zero, which I'm glad to see is finally getting a Steam release. That game's really good. Whoa, excuse you. Yeah, I guess, like, this week is pretty barren. Oh, you know what it is? No one wants to release during E3.
Yep.
I bet that's it. So yeah, I guess like if you're looking for new games to play, don't just buy 1001 Spikes instead. Go play threes. Go buy Mario Kart 8. Yeah, all right. Well, I guess that's everything then. I mean, did you see anything coming out that looks like
No.
great to you? Yeah. I think Haunt the House Terror Town should be cool. But I haven't played it yet, so. Other than that, nothing looks great, so I hope you aren't looking for anything too interesting this week. But I think, yeah, I think that's where we'll call this one. So, yeah, you can look forward to seeing us next week for some very special content, because we will have tons and tons of opinions of almost everything that happens at E3, I'm sure. We're just going to have lots of content. It'll probably be 2 hours next week, like I said, so you can look forward to that. I'm assuming we will both be here again. But yeah, I think that will be all that we've got for today. So, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment on. If you've got any opinions about any of the news that we talked about today, feel free to leave comments. Let us know what you think. You can subscribe if you want to see more content every single day. I don't just do talk show stuff. I often just play games. You can see 1001 Spikes. Whoa, excuse you again. You can see me almost cry in 1001 Spikes. And yeah, I do other content as well every day. And then, of course, if you like this series, if you liked this particular vlogcast episode, then feel free to click the like button. But with that, we thank you very, very much for watching, and we will see you next time.